Hey, how's it going, guys? So, today we're going to talk about this boxing match between Bryce Hall and Austin McBroom. And before I get into this video, I just want to say if you're not already invested in all this YouTube boxing, celebrity boxing stuff, just don't watch this video. It's probably not for you, okay? So, like I said, if you're a hardcore boxing fan, you like watching guys like Usyk, Lomachenko, all those people, just just don't watch this video because you're gonna hate it. But anyway, let's get into this video. So I'm not gonna talk about too much. I'm not gonna talk too much about each of these guys' personalities. Just because I'm not too familiar with these guys. I don't know who. Or I didn't know who Austin McBroom really was before this. Same with Bryce Hall. I assume that Bryce is this celebrity TikToker who's got a decent following on the platform. I don't use TikTok too much. Actually, I've never even posted anything on my account. You know what I mean? So, I'm not too invested in that. More of a YouTube guy, and even I don't really know who Austin is. I guess he's supposed to be part of this YouTube channel called the Ace Family or something. Yeah, I don't know. But now I know who they are, and I'm gonna talk about just their sparring footage. So, and just give my breakdown of it. So we'll start with Austin McBroom because I got a lot to talk about with Bryce. Anyway, let's just talk about Austin first. So, I've seen from Austin McBroom's sparring footage that he's definitely he looks a bit better than Bryce. I can see why people are saying that he's gonna beat Bryce because he does look better. His punches are more accurate. He's actually landing punches. You saw that sparring video of his on Instagram, and he was actually he was beating the guy. You know what I mean? And I assume his sparring partner doesn't really know how to box too much because he was throwing a lot of haymakers in that little sparring match they had. He was kind of swinging with his punches, all that, and you can tell he doesn't really know how to box. But I mean, regardless, Austin, he looks like he's putting in the work to actually study the sport and learn it, which it's good to see. You know what I mean? The only criticisms I would give are that it looks like he kind of leans into his punches. He's a bit he telegraphs a bit much. He's just from what I've seen, he was kind of whenever he would try to put up that guy up against the ropes, he would kind of just lean forward and then throw his punches a bit, and that's just something you don't want to do in a fight. Because if you telegraph, your opponent knows what you're gonna throw right before you throw it. So, yeah. Another criticism I would give is that his stance is slightly a bit wide and awkward. And a wide stance can be good for some fighters. You look at guys like Luke Campbell. He's got a wide stance or a bit of a wide stance anyway, and it works for him. But when you're flat-footed like Austin is, and your stance is just kind of wide, it's not that great. So, yeah, his movement I would say is a bit awkward, but with his hands, he's landing punches, so that's good to see. And yeah, overall he's okay for a beginner. You know what I mean? A guy who's been boxing for only a couple months. Now let's talk about Bryce. So Bryce, on the other hand, he's he was sparring this one guy, this guy that he didn't like, apparently, and they got into a fight in their sparring match, and what happened was Bryce Hall was letting all his emotions just enter the ring. He was putting his ego in the ring, and as you can see, he was throwing all these haymakers, trying to knock his opponent's head off. His opponent literally had like 3 days of boxing experience, while Bryce had 3 weeks of boxing experience, I believe. So, I mean, it's like, it's not a good look for Bryce. Because if you're trying to knock someone who's never boxed in their life, you're trying to knock their head off. I mean, and you don't do it, you just look like an idiot. Then it's not a good look for you. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's unfortunate for him because, it does look like he's going to lose this fight. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'll give my prediction at the end, but, I'm just saying that he does not look that great at all. And from his sort of personality, I can kind of tell, like, that he's trying to be this, Mr. Tough guy, like, oh, I'm big and strong, I go to the gym, you know what I mean? And just, so I'm going to beat all you up. He was disrespecting a lot of people online, guys like Deji, guys like Anderson Gibb, KSI, you know what I mean? And, like, dude, you've never been in a fight before. I have more respect for these guys than I do for you because you haven't. Let's see you fight these guys. You know what I mean, man? Like, because you'd probably get beat up by them. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Bryce, he's very insecure about himself. He's trying to, like, be this. He's trying to seek validation from people in that he wants people to think that he's Mr. Tough Guy or just this, strong guy who can just beat everyone up. And it just sends a bad message to, sort of his pop culture fans because, boxing isn't about that. It's not about just like, I mean, obviously you got guys like Mayweather, McGregor, Fury, all these guys that trash talk, and they back it up. But listen, boxing isn't just about having big muscles and all that. It's about, the fundamentals. It's a mind game. They say that boxing is 90% mental and 10% physical. And that's true. You know what I mean? And Bryce is showing the exact opposite of that. It reminds me of this one moment I had with a sparring partner. I remember my friend and I were at the gym, and we were supposed to spar each other. My friend's taller than me, and I wanted to spar a tall guy. I'm not going to say his name because, like, that's, no one's business. But, so I was getting ready to spar him. I was getting my headgear on, all that. And then this other guy from my school comes into the gym, and he says that we're going to spar. He's like, I'm going to spar you. That's what he said to me, or something like that. And I said, no, I'm already sparring this guy. And then he starts running his mouth. He has, like, a problem with me or something. Like, he wants to beat me up. And then he starts calling me a bitch and all that, and I was just fed up with it. So I just kind of ignored him. So me and my friend got in the ring, and we sparred for one round, and that was that. I thought we were going to do another round, but my coach told my friend to get out of the ring, and for the other guy to get into the ring, because apparently that other kid was, pestering my coach too much, to the point where he let him get in the ring to spar me. So we had our sparring session. The bell goes, and this guy, he just runs at me with all these wild punches. He's trying to, like, fight extremely dirty, trying to pick me up, trying to knock my head off. You know what I mean? It's exactly what Bryce Hall was doing to his opponent. So yeah, so he's there to fight while I'm there to spar. You know what I mean? And yeah, so what happens is that we had our sparring session, and I won. That's what happened. What happened was I was beating this kid. You know what I mean? He was, all I had to do was keep my guard up, let him gas himself out, and I was landing the better shots. I was landing the more accurate punches. I didn't even know this in the fight or after the match, but apparently, my friend or someone told me that he actually got a black eye because of me, in that match, which I don't even know, but yeah, but I was also, every time I got this kid on the ropes, I was also, like, snapping the back of his head, and, that's what happened. I beat this guy, and Anyway, then we're doing back-to-back rounds. So then my coach tells me to go get out of the ring, and for my friend to get into the ring. And my friend absolutely just beats this guy. He's he's the taller guy, and this guy, he's this other guy. He's 3 inches shorter than I am. So yeah, what happens is he rocks this. My friend rocks this shorter guy, multiple times, to the point where this guy's asking for breaks during the round, and he got beat up that day. So, yeah, luckily I've not seen that guy again, because he's a toxic person to be around. But, yeah, it just reminds me of this Bryce Hall situation, and just how, Bryce Hall, he's this guy, he's asking for something that, he's going to regret asking for, you know what I mean? So yeah, regardless of who he fights, he's a bit insecure, and, he wants to be a tough guy, and he's simply not, you know what I mean? Some of the toughest guys I know, personally, they're nice, they're not some guy trying to be like, oh yeah, we're trying to shout, I'm Mr. Tough Guy, I'm this, I'm that, or I'm gonna F you up, or all that stuff, They mind their own business, and they're tough when they have to be tough. They're not trying to act tough, they are tough. So yeah, in terms of who I think's gonna win this, I honestly, it's hard to say, just because I don't know who's. It depends on who can take a punch better. You know what I mean? I will say, if Austin can take a punch, if he can take a punch well, then I think he is going to win. Just because he does look better than Bryce. But obviously, if he's turns out to be this guy who's chinny, then, who knows what could happen. I don't imagine Bryce hits that hard. It's from what I've seen. So yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to see Bryce winning this. So I would probably lean towards Austin. But you just never know what'll happen, because this is, they're going to be nervous for their first ever fight in front of thousands. They're, it's going to be an extreme environment that both of them haven't entered. I've heard that Bryce Hall's supposed to be this street fighter or whatever. I've yet to see a video of him actually street fighting. But guys, listen, from what I've seen from his boxing ability, I think he's gonna lose this. I think Austin's gonna go out there. I don't think he's gonna knock him out. If anything, it's gonna be a TKO. But yeah, I think Austin will probably win by decision. Although it could turn out that one of them will gas out. In which case, yeah, it will be a TKO. It's not going to be a knockout, especially since they're wearing heavier gloves and headgear. So yeah, I got Austin by. I don't know how he's going to win. I don't know if Bryce is going to gas out, or if it's going to go to the decision. I don't know. I'll go with Austin by decision, just because I don't know how well. I don't know how well Bryce can, like how good his cardio is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, my final pick is Austin, which is apparently the popular pick, from what I've seen. Let me know what you guys think. This should be an interesting matchup, so stay tuned for it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Look out for the fight, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.